Well, the Nebraska football team continued preparations for Michigan here on Tuesday. The Huskers got some good news here once again with quarterback Adrian Martinez, as he did go through practice for a second day in a row. And according to running back Divine Ozigbo, he looked pretty good.
He's going to look really good today. I saw him pull it on the zone read and things like that. He's moving a lot better. I think he'll be good. We just got to see how he feels come game day. I don't really know the exact details, but he's looking good.
And with the challenge that Michigan's defensive front will bring, they're going to need every weapon possible to run the football this week.
Michigan's a big physical team. We have the players, to combat it, and we just got to make sure we do the little things right so we can have some success running the ball early and establish the run game.
Meanwhile, on the defensive side of the ball, another black shirt was handed out, this time to senior safety Aaron Williams.
Yeah, one additional one was Aaron Williams this week. He's done a good job ever since he's been back from his injury. Practice-wise, he's played pretty well the last few weeks. We thought that he kind of took over that spot, and he's given us some leadership. So he's the one that earned the black shirt this week.
Aaron Williams has really improved. His leaders in the room. He's improved in the way he practiced. Obviously, in the game, made some plays last two games.
And another guy on the defense that might be close to getting that black shirt is safety Trey Neal, who continues to impress Travis Fisher with his play.
I think overall in the secondary, all of those guys did some great things, but also did some things that they can do better. Trey Neal has been that solid guy since he's pretty much been here, doing what we need him to do, and been a leader in the room. And on game day, he also had a big game.
And moving now forward to this Michigan game, the challenge is going to be much different this week as the Wolverines will attack the Huskers with a physical downhill offense.
Yeah, obviously Michigan's going to be a different game than we've seen the last few weeks. They can get in 11 personnel and run some of the spread stuff, but then they also can get into 21 and 22 and 23 and 13 and 12 and bring a lot of big boys at you and pound the rock. So I think you got to take care of them running the football. But with that being said, obviously the DB's got to have their eyes right, because it's going to be pound the rock, pound the rock, pound the rock, bombs away, and that's kind of where they get their big chunks. So you got to have a good plan to defend the run, but also get those DBs in a spot where they can defend the deep ball.
And another area of emphasis for Nebraska this week has been special teams. Special teams coordinator Javon DeWitt called it a big disappointment and something that he takes very personal.
I take a lot of pride in it. I take it very personally. I think our players know that, and I think our players are starting to take it personally. But yeah, it's as personal to me as anything. It's personal to everybody on the staff that works in special teams. Maybe me the most of all, because I'm in charge of it. So yeah, I internalize it. Anytime we're not performing well on special teams, trust me, it bothers me. I don't get to sleep very much.
As for the kicker job, Barrett Pickering has missed a field goal now each of the last 2 weeks. Is that job open?
Always. It's always about it. Every single day. Every day there's going to be a competition for every position on the field, specialists included.
And finally, this Nebraska staff may be new to the Big Ten, but they do have some experience going against Michigan. In 2016, Scott Frost's UCF team played in Ann Arbor early on in his coaching tenure.
Similar situation, taking over a team and new system and new coaching staff and maybe players in different spots and getting used to the defense. And, we went up there and we played really well against the run, I thought, and then we gave up some big balls in the pass. But I think at that point they kind of understood that we can play with anybody. I thought Michigan was a really, really good football team that year. I think they're a really, really good football team this year. So I think this is going to be a good test for us to stop the run. Also a good test for us just as a defense and a team. So I think we're going to find out a lot about ourselves here this week.
The Huskers will get back to work here on Wednesday as they continue preparations for the Wolverines. With the Huskers in Lincoln, I'm Sean Callahan of HuskerOnline.com.